Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a walkthrough and tutorial of the APA's Academic Writer program. This is a service provided by DMU to help students write and format their papers in the APA 7 style. To access Academic Writer, just go to DMU's library website, and under Writing Center, you will see APA's Academic Writer, where you can access the program. Once you log in, this will be the Academic Writer homepage. The website has three main sections. The Learn section, which provides tutorials of how to use the Academic Writer program, as well as walkthroughs and lessons of the APA style itself. There is also the Reference Library. This allows you to add and store all of your references throughout the courses, to store them and organize them as you write your papers. And then the third section is the Write section, where you can write and store all of your papers through your courses. We're going to start in the Reference section. You just click Go to My References, and you will see my entire library of any reference that I have added to a paper. If you'd like to add a reference, you can do so here before you even write your paper, or you can add a reference during the writing process. To add a reference from this web page, just click Add References. You then get to select the type of reference you're adding. You can add an authored or edited book, journal articles, media, or any other type of source you may want to add. In order to add it, just click, and it will bring you to a page where you can manually add in all the information for your citation. You also have the ability to import a citation. Let's say you want to add a citation manually. I'm going to go back and select an authored book. For this example, I'm going to add Tom Shippey's The Road to Middle-earth. From the DMU library, you'll notice the Cite option here, where I can click Cite and select the APA 7th edition. Here, I am provided an example citation of what this book's citation should look like. I always recommend double-checking these, as they are not always exactly what you need, but it is a great starting point. From here, I can go back to the Academic Writer page and enter all the information, such as the author's name, the date of publication, the title, as well as the publisher's name. Once I have added all of the required information, I simply click Add to References, and my reference is added to my library. If you want to import your citation, you can go to the Import page here, where you select the file origin and then upload the file. For this same source, after I click this citation button here, you will see the Export to RIS file. All you need to do is click this button, which will export an RIS file. Then on this page, you select the origin of your file, which for me is a ProQuest, which I noticed right here in this link. However, if it does not match perfectly, just do your best to select the one that is closest to what you need. Then I will choose the file, upload it, and click Submit. Once you import the file, you will need to go back through and double check that it imported all the information correctly. It does often miss a few fields, but it can do a lot of the groundwork for you in importing most of the information for your citation. Once you're ready to write your paper, you can select the Write button here at the top. Or if you're already on the home page, you can just go to your papers. Here you can see a collection of some of my papers that have already been written. And to write a new paper, all I need to do is click Write a New Paper. From here, you can select a template. As you can see, there are some existing templates for a reaction paper, empirical paper, meta-analysis paper. Most often, the easiest thing to do is to select Basic Paper. From here, you can select either a student assignment or a professional manuscript. For a lot of your smaller assignments, all you need is to select Student Assignment. It will not include a running head, author note, abstract, or keywords. You can add them if you need them, but they are not there by default. However, if you are working on a larger research paper or an assignment that requires the running head, author note, abstract, and keywords, you can select professional manuscript and have those already ready. Select Continue and title your paper, and you can start writing. From the beginning, this is what the word processor looks like. It has an area to write your paper, as well as this main menu on the left side. I recommend starting with the title page area, where you can click Title and add more information for your title page, including the author or the class in which you may be writing this. You then have the body section, as well as an area to organize your references, tables, figures, or in appendices. Further, there are an additional set of tools that can help do some basic writing checks or a word count. Another helpful feature, especially if you are working on a research project, is this research lab book. Academic Writer provides a process with which you can develop your ideas and track and organize your questions. So here in this Develop My Research Idea area, this will help you generate ideas, identify your topic, develop questions, and all the way through exporting your notes for your paper. This can be a helpful tool for identifying research topics or questions as you are working on a research paper. Here's an example paper I already have typed out. Starting over here on the left, I want to bring you to the title page where I have already added an example title as well as a course number, course name, and professor. In addition, I have already added 2 different authors here on the right. If you want to add more, all you need to do is type in their name as well as their institution information, and at the bottom, you can add the author to the author list. To get back to my writing area, I just select Body, and I am brought back to my main writing area. There are 2 big benefits to APA Academic Writer. 1, the organization of your references, and 2, the format of your paper in the APA style. I want to click Preview here for you and show you how it automatically formats your paper. So all that title information I previously showed you is automatically formatted in this title page with the proper headings, spacings, and other information I added. If I go to subsequent pages, I will see my headings as well as proper spacing, margins, page numbers, and anything else you may add. In addition, at the end of my paper, it has my references already in alphabetical order with the proper formatting. You'll notice here on the left, I can add sections and subheadings to my paper. It provides the proper formatting for titles or additional headings, subheadings throughout your paper. So while writing your paper, if you want to add a new section, so let's say down here I have some writing and I want to add a new primary heading here, I can add a new section and it will add it here at the bottom. And then if I want to add a subheading, I just type further, highlight my heading, and then here under headings, you just choose the proper heading that you need. You'll notice up here that a few of these citations are underlined in blue. This is what it looks like when you add citations to your paper. And what's great about adding citations to your paper is that, as I mentioned earlier, Academic Writer will automatically insert and format your citations for you. So let's say I want to add these citations to my paper. I will delete them here for a second, then add them back into my paper. To add a reference, I click the Insert button at the top of the page. Then Find and Cite Reference. Here, you can search for any reference that you have already added to your reference library. If you're in the middle of the writing process and want to add a new reference, simply click Create Reference, which will bring you to the page I showed you previously where you add new references. In this instance, I will type in academic, and look for this academic writer. You simply click the check mark, and then you click Cite. You have the option to choose parenthetical or narrative citation, as well as if the citation is a quotation or not. In this instance, it is not, and it is parenthetical. So I will click Submit, and you will see it will automatically show up formatted for me. Let's say I want to add another citation, such as the Tom Shippey one that I added earlier. Once again, I will click Insert. I will select Find and Cite References. Now, let me type in the author's name for you. And you will notice that when I type out the author's full name, Tom Shippey, the citation does not show up. That is because this search is extremely precise. So what I'm going to do is delete Tom and search Shippey. Here's my reference, and you'll notice that the reference is listed for Shippey, T, not Tom Shippey. Thus, when you are looking for a reference, you need to specifically type in the author or words in the title exactly as they are spelled, or it may not find your reference. So I will click again the check mark. I will click Cite. And for this example, I will say it is a quotation from page 123. And once that is done, Submit. And you see here, Shippey 2014, page 123. As you write, below this section where you actually write your paper is a list of references that you have previously added to your paper. So you'll notice that a few of these citations have this green cited button, while a few of them do not. Any paper in this list below the writing area is a reference that you have previously added. However, if you delete a citation after writing, your source will remain in this area, but will not have this cited button. So you'll notice here at the bottom, I have the CCMMP citation. However, it's not cited in my paper. It's because I had previously added a citation to this writing and then deleted it. So if I want to add the citation here, or I will go further up, and let's say I want to cite this one sentence with both sources, I can delete that, add my semicolon, and I can actually scroll back down to this citation and add it from the list below. I click Cite, and here it is. Now you'll notice I do need to go in and properly fix it to make sure that the citation is correct for two sources. I can delete that parentheses, and here I have my citation. Another great resource of this process is, especially as you start citing chapters of the CCMMP or other sources that are written by the same authors, is that this program will automatically adjust these in-text citations as you add sources. So if your first author for a source is Witz, but you have multiple chapters from the CCMMP or multiple resources from DMU with Witz as the primary author of that content, Academic Writer will adjust your sources to fit the proper citation. As you write, you may see, similar to other word processors, Academic Writer will offer suggestions of spell checking or proper grammar usage, such as passive voice. It is not 100% accurate. It is not as intense as Grammarly or some other tools that might use AI or other aspects of technology. However, similar to Microsoft Word, it does give you some basic suggestions. It may not always be correct. You may choose it in that instance. You want to use passive voice when Academic Writer might tell you not to. All you have to do is ignore the suggestion. For example, right here, it thinks that Theologica for the Summa is incorrect. It might want to use Theologia, or in other translations it's Summa Theologia. But in this instance, I'm going to choose to ignore it, so I can simply click Ignore. On the left, just as I added references, you can also add tables and figures. To add those tables or figures to your writing, you will add them the same way that you add a reference. So let's say I want to add a table here in the middle of my paper. I would add that table just like I added references and then access them in the same way. I would click Insert. I would find and call out table. And if I had previously added tables, they would already be here in order for me to add them to my paper. On the left, you will also notice again this check area where I can check my writing, check my headings order, as well as references, my table or figure callouts, or simply the word count. So if I click word count and run the word count, I will get a breakdown of word count across my whole paper. The total exported paper has 482 words. This includes the title page as well as references. However, right here in the bottom, I have my paper body, which is 372 words. This is what you have written here below. It does include the in-text citations. However, it does not include your references or your title page. Once again, I have written everything and I want to check it. I can click preview. I can see what my title page looks like, what my references look like before I print or before I export. And once I'm done, over here on the left, you can click export. You can either email a copy to yourself or download it via Word document or PDF. I like to export it as a Word document just to give me another place to edit it to make sure there are no spell checking errors or any other issues that Microsoft Word might find that Academic Writer miss. And then I will export it into a PDF and upload my assignment. Unfortunately, Academic Writer is not perfect, and sometimes you will notice some formatting glitches as you try to add some in-text citations. You might get some weird spacing where you have a hanging parentheses or a hanging citation, such as this example. You might see Vit et al. Spaced down below when it really shouldn't be, and you might find a random parentheses off where it shouldn't. This you just kind of have to work with. Like I said, it's not perfect, but if you ever get to a place where you're stuck, all you need to do is just delete your citation. Let's say delete this right here, delete them, and then just add them back in, and it will usually go back to normal. So that is a brief look at Academic Writer. I find it very helpful for any assignments or papers. You don't have to worry about any of your formatting. You can focus in on writing. This even offers a focus mode where it will remove all the menus and just give you the area to write, so you don't have to worry about formatting. You don't have to worry about references. You can purely focus on your content, focus on your research, and write.